Hello, welcome to Pride of South London Fan TV. Ali here, bringing you my match review of the game between Palace and Spurs, which of course finished 3-0 to Palace in incredible scenes at Selhurst Park, with Edouard bagging 2 goals on his debut. But I would like to start this video with a little message for 442 magazine and a penny for their thoughts this morning on their prediction that Palace would finish 20th in their pre-season predictions. I wonder whether they still think that will happen. Anyway, let's get into it. All the usual features. Man of the match, Patrick Vieira's rating, and the ref rating too. Let's start with man of the match today because I want to get into the subject. I put a little poll on social media. Lots of fans calling out other performances, and there were lots of good performances yesterday. Conor Gallagher being one, of course. Lovely scenes at the end when he was the last man on the pitch, taking the applause from the fans. Tyrick Mitchell, lots saying he had a very good game yesterday. But for me, it was between two. And it was between Wilfried Zaha and Edouard. And obviously, Edouard came on and scored 2 goals off the bench. Not many players do that. So I felt like even though he didn't play the whole game, he had to be in the reckoning. And then, of course, Wilfried Zaha with the goal and the assist. And we'll come on to in a minute a little bit more about all those scenes with him and the tangle with Tanganga. But for me, I had to go for Wilf, and over 70% of you agreed with that in the poll on social media. I want to talk about Wilf because there's been a lot of noise around him in the last few weeks. Even some of our own fans questioning his attitude with the holding of his hands up to referees and his remonstrations with referees and his arguing with referees and other players and sometimes our own players. And for me, I've always said it's passion, not attitude. And I'm not just saying this on the back of a game where he's had a man of the match performance. You can check the record on my videos. I've been a big supporter of his. And for me, it's always been passion, not attitude. And I've always said that with Wilf, you have to take that side of him. It's what fuels him. And yesterday, the anger fueled him in the best possible way when he got the goal for the penalty, which he calmly slotted away, and the assist as well. And I hope now, listen, the media, the pundits, they'll always have a dig at Wilf, but I hope now our own fans, those who were questioning him as well, are just going to get right back behind him. I'm sure they will, because that is Wilf. That is his personality. And I think if you take that edge away from him, then you lose the player. And yesterday he showed absolutely what the player that he still can be. And what pleased me most was one of the things I did kind of think some of the people who were commenting on Wilf's performances was that I did kind of think was perhaps true was maybe he'd lost that half a yard of pace. But yesterday he was back to taking players on. He absolutely ripped Tanganga apart. And poor Tanganga, when he walked off, you could see that on the channel. There's a little video that Homestyle singing him cheerio. Check that video out. But I think as well, for me, that was key, was as soon as Edouard came on, even before the goal, I looked at Wilfried. It's almost like his eyes lit up. It's almost like he knew if he got to the byline, he took a player on, he put a ball in, someone's going to make something happen. And that someone was, of course, Edouard. And I think it's an old saying that you play better with good players around you. And I think Edouard's going to only not just bring something to us as a team, but he's going to increase players like Wilfried Zaha's performances as well. I think you'll see more assists on Wilfried Zaha's name this season. So really exciting performance from Wilfried Zaha. He, without doubt, is my man of the match. And let's hope he takes that performance into Anfield next week. Vieira's rating, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10 because really, what more could you want than a 3-0 win at home to Spurs in a performance with such conviction? The team selection, I guess I was a little bit annoyed to see Jordan Ayew's name on the right-hand side. Spoke to one of my friends at half-time and he commented there, but he runs a lot. Well, as I keep saying, Forrest Gump runs a lot, but he wasn't a professional footballer. But some people on social media correcting me saying he did in the film play American football, but the wrong kind of football. But, you know, to be fair to Jordan Ayew did work hard yesterday, but I think it was telling that when Elise came on, he had a part in that 3rd goal. And I think I'd argue if Jordan Ayew was on that pitch, perhaps that 3rd goal doesn't happen. But the thing is, Vieira, he knows, the players' fitness levels. He gets the report from the medical team and the sports scientists. And he obviously felt Elise wasn't ready to come in. And you can't argue with it. The first half gave us a very solid base. I thought it was a bit of a edgy game. And I think the thing I would say about Patrick Vieira is, as much as the attacking football and the flair we showed in the second half was amazing, the word I would use to describe Vieira so far is balance. And he said when he came in that we needed to keep a steel about us. And we certainly did that in the first half. We had men behind the ball. We pressed well. We dealt with Harry Kane well. He's kept Joel Ward in at right back, who helped to deal with Kane. We've kept some solidity amongst this fantastic football that we played in the second half. And what I hope now is that the comparisons, the lazy comparisons from pundits and the media to Vieira and De Boer end, because De Boer played wing backs with Ward at right wing back. De Boer also lost the dressing room very quickly. And yesterday's performance and other things we've seen so far this season show clearly that Vieira has this dressing room. So for me, Vieira did extremely well. His in-game management as well was very good. I thought it was interesting he brought on Luca for Kiate. I think that freshened things up in midfield, but I thought Kiate played really well yesterday. He's doing a very good job at shielding that back four. And interestingly, that's our second clean sheet in a row at home. And if I'm Wilf Hughes, I'm really excited that we signed a brilliant eye for a pass. I'm looking at that midfield thinking it's going to be hard for me to get into this team. I think as well, obviously he brought Edouard on and he brought Elise on and that Elise on, and obviously that call to keep them on the bench and bring them on paid off, and it was the right one. So Vieira didn't get much wrong yesterday at all. It's still very early days, but I'm so far really embracing this Vieira reign, this new era, like many of the fans, and long may it continue. Let's go into the ref rating. For me, I'll give the ref a 9. The big incident, obviously, was Tanganga. To be honest, it's stuff we see almost every game with Wilfried Zaha. Those sort of fouls. Wilf got up, he retaliated. Listen, for me, I thought yellow card each was probably fair. I know some people say Tanganga grabbed him by the throat. It was a professional foul. And, Tottenham fans might argue he had to do it, or Wilf was getting through. If it was on the other foot and our player did that, it was 0-0. We might want our player to do that. I think holding by the throat is obviously extreme, but I think I like that kind of refereeing in that, what pleased me was it didn't go for 10 minutes to VAR. I like that sort of refereeing. It has a bit more of a humane side where you sort of give a player a booking, something like that, booking for Tanganga, booking for Wilf, anything else like that, then you're off. And then ultimately, it's up for that player to show their professionalism. And it's an advantage to the team anyway, when, you've got a player like Wilf and Tanganga's on a booking that ultimately he can't really go in for challenges as much. And eventually he's going to get done again. And that showed. And ultimately, Wilf showed his professionalism in going on to get the goal and the assist. And Tanganga showed his unprofessionalism by going to get sent off. So for me, maybe if we'd lost the game, I would be arguing that Tanganga should get sent off. But for me, I thought the ref did well. Tottenham fans saying Wilf should have been sent off is ridiculous, because if they're arguing Wilf should have been sent off for retaliating and grabbing Tanganga, well then Tanganga clearly should get sent off for throat choking Zaha. So that's it for me. I think in the words of Wilfried Zaha, I'm buzzing. I've not been this excited about a Palace team since we had Yannick, Balassi and Zaha on either side of the wings. And I'll throw this in. Eze still to come back into this team too. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Who was your man of the match? What do we do for the Liverpool game? Edouard surely got to come into the team now, but I thought Benteke had a very good game holding the ball up and things like that. So could they play together? Let me know what your thoughts are for the Liverpool game. As always, leave your comments. And if you've liked this video, press that subscribe button.